Hi, thanks for being in a new video. This time I have the new BeSpoke AI Laundry Hub from Samsung, which is a laundry tower. We'll find washer downstairs, dryer upstairs to save space, and it also brings several smart features that we're going to explore in this video. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is connect to the washer, and notice how in this case the SmartThings app is already detecting the washer for me. Although as it took me a while to add it, the ad had disappeared, but now it appears again. In fact, in this case, now the dryer appeared. So it detects them as different devices in the application. We're going to add the dryer and we're going to wait for it to do this whole process. We're going to wait, and this was obviously very simple because I'm using a Galaxy phone. Maybe if you're using other brand devices, maybe it's a manual process where you have to hit the add button, maybe scan a QR because it comes with the stickers here for easy connectivity as well. But obviously the interaction with the Galaxy cell phones is going to be super good to get it added quickly. Now I got a dialog popped up here if I want to connect to that network. I'm going to click that I want to connect, and now it will finish the linking. In fact, notice it tells me to scan the QR, in this case of the dryer. So I'm going to scan the QR that's at the top. And that's it. Now I need to connect to my home Wi-Fi network, the dryer. So I'm going to click on the list that I get, which one is my home network, and that's it. So that would be this process. It's already connecting the dryer, although later I guess I'm going to have to connect the washing machine, but let's wait. It's done. As you can see, it says we got it done, and now we just have to configure if you want to set what location it's in so that it syncs also with other devices that you may have in this laundry room. I'm going to hit done, and we've got it. Now it's just going to download an additional plugin to bring up all the necessary controls. So there you go, I have all the necessary settings for the dryer, but now I want to add the washing machine as well. And as you can see, I just got the suggestion, which is much appreciated because it automates things a lot. But if not, maybe the process, as I say, is going to have to be manually scanning and pressing the add button, look for washing machine and something else. But in the case of the Galaxy, this setup will be very fast. Anyway, now we are going to scan, and again the same thing. I'm going to select my home Wi-Fi network to transfer to this device, and now it's just going to do the same setup process. So I think at this initial stage we're doing very well, and with that the configuration process is done. I'm gonna put the done button, and again it's gonna download the additional data to give me all the controls for the washing machine. We already have it here, shows us the configuration. As you see the cycle here, we can have many cycles available. We can also adjust the water temperature, how many times we want to rinse, how we want the spin level and the level of dirt. We could also have a super fast wash option in case you have any urgency, additional rinses, and well, many other things that we will see in a moment. But for now, we have finished the process of linking with our device, and in the laundry room already appears both the dryer and the washing machine. And obviously in your favorite screen may appear other devices, as in this case the air conditioner or any screen or monitor. Then you simply enter here and ready to appear all the controls. As you can see here, we have the control center. This button is to turn on the washing machine. Immediately its screen greets us, and the first time you turn on the washing machine, it gives you a kind of tutorial. In this case, I had already turned it on, so it does not appear. And before starting the link with the cell phone, you must skip this message to start being detected. Obviously, the message that appears there is to warn me that the soap dispensers are empty. In a moment, I will show you the dispenser, but for now, I just want to show you the basic navigation in the interface. As you notice here, it has some indicators. The first one is to adjust the temperature level, the second one to adjust the spin level, and finally to adjust the dirt level. The last button is to show more options. So you don't need the mobile app to start your washing process, but simply here you can adjust the options, and that's it. In fact, this wheel serves us to navigate also between all the washing cycles that it has by default. As you can see, it also goes making the change of temperature levels, spin, and more. Here is also the super speed mode, and we also have the small load mode if you are going to enter very little clothes or that really is not too dirty. We also have the delicate mode and, well, many more modes that are available here. So this is the basic navigation between all the modes that we have available. But for example, if we want to use the normal mode but we want to customize it, we can press the options button and now we get the super speed option, which is not compatible with this mode. But in other wash cycles than the normal one, you could enable the super speed mode. And in this case, we could also add extra rinse, we could add a pre-soak, then every time you want to turn on an option, you simply press this little button and as you can see, it turns on. That little switch, we also have deferred and available. We could turn on the lighting that is inside the tubs, also the option to clean pump. We could also enable a child lock so that the little one does not get here to move the options of the washer. And we also have the option enabled by default to use artificial intelligence. Finally, we could edit the cycles, also calibration of the tub so that it can measure the weight well. And we could also adjust the volume of these sounds that are being generated when interacting with the washer. And finally, change the language and the Wi-Fi network connectivity or reset absolutely everything. Then it seems to me a considerably intuitive menu. It is easy to use. Simply navigate with this option and select the options with this little circle. And as I told you with this hand, you will be able to switch between more options. One of the novelties that Samsung has with this washing machine is its dispenser. In this case, to remove it, you have to press on the bottom because it has a kind of insurance so that it is not so easy to remove it. Then I will press here. Now I remove it, then observe, we have here the dispenser number 1, which would be the main one. We have the dispenser 2, in which we can enter either a softener or also another detergent that could be a general detergent or a special detergent. There is also another container where we could enter general detergent for certain cyclists, and finally the last dispenser where we could put bleach. If we press this little yellow button, we can completely remove the deposit. In this case, it has a little water because it was previously testing the washing machine. So this is one of the main novelties. These dispensers are to place a much larger amount of soap than what is usually deposited in the washing machines because the washing machine will intelligently select the amount of soap. So surely these dispensers are going to be refilled from time to time and not in each wash cycle. To open them is quite easy. As you can see, here is an arrow pointing towards the lock and means that it is locked at this time. You only need to turn it towards the open lock, and in this way we can remove the lid. Here also indicates the maximum level. Obviously we must not enter more soap than necessary. And to close it, we do the reverse of what we had done a moment ago, and that would be all on the side of the dispensers. As you can see, in this part of the dryer also comes a special accessory so we can dry more delicate products that we do not want to be bouncing on the walls, maybe some shoes if you washed them or something similar. But obviously we can remove this accessory when we go to do the drying of clothes in general. In this part we will also have access to the filter that will be convenient to clean it every time we use the dryer to have an optimal performance. Here will be trapped all the lint. At the bottom is where we have the washing machine and its drum. In this case, again, is a little wet because I was testing it a little, but it is advisable every time you finish washing, will dry it very well, especially in this part, to keep it in optimal operation. In fact, if you have your washing machine in a closed room, it is best to leave these tanks open for a while after you finish washing to help it dry completely. And another detail that I must tell you, of course, is what is behind the washer, because this often we forget. But obviously you must have your 2 outlets for hot and cold water, and of course also your gas connection, plus a duct for the dryer, and obviously the output of the drain. If you have the dryer in an enclosed room, you're going to need this, which is a lint trap. But otherwise you could also have a duct leading to the outside, so it depends on how you're going to do your installation in your house. So that's pretty much it with respect to the outside and the basic operation, but obviously we're going to put it to the test, so we're going to put in some laundry. And I'm going to deposit some soap. In the soap dispenser, I'm going to put the soap, let's say neutral soap, because it also depends on you as a user. If all of a sudden, if you use a special soap for a certain clothes, you can have in the second tray a certain special soap, but the soap in that second tray is only going to be used in some certain cycles like sportswear and other cycles. I would like maybe with some update that you as a user could choose for this cycle, I want the soap in tray 1, and for the second cycle or any other cycle, I want the soap in tray 2. That would be great. Hopefully at some point they will update that. So I'm going to deposit soap in this tray. Personally, I don't use softener, but in the second tray you could also put softener, so it's up to you as the user how you want to distribute your soap, your softener, and other things. So we're going to take this tray out. We've got the lid over here, and we're going to fill this dispenser 1. Obviously, it's going to hold a lot of soap, unlike conventional washing machines where you just have a tray similar to this one. Of course, if you don't want to use the dispensers, you could also turn them off in the app and just use soap in what you put in this tray. So we're just pouring this soap in little by little, and I think it's going to fill up with enough. Look, I keep pouring it in and it keeps coming in. I don't really know how to calculate, but I think it might be about half a liter. I don't know about calculations, but if you want to make a proposal, let me know. This is quite practical because you will no longer have to pour soap every time you wash, but simply refill the dispenser and that's it. Although I insist it depends on you as a user if each type of garment you wash with a different soap, because you will end up using the central tank. Wow, I keep adding soap. I think so. It's like a liter of soap because I keep adding soap. I think it's going to fill up soon. Really, at last it seems that we have reached the limit. I insist it really has a lot of capacity, so let's close it, lock it, and it's ready. It's ready. Remember that you can put fabric softener in here and bleach over here in case you prefer to wash like this. In fact, look here, it says manual detergent. So if you don't want to use the dispensers, you turn them off in the application and here you put the detergent. So I'm ready now. Let's close the tray. And well, it's been a few days since we installed this washer, and I want to tell you more or less about my experience and finally show you how it works now that I've been testing it. So to begin with, I just turned on my washing machine and immediately the cycle that I usually use at this time appears on this screen. So if you're a very organized person who usually washes certain things on certain days, it's going to work very well for you. Otherwise, it's going to adjust the modes based on how often you use them. If you use very constantly the small load mode, which is the one I usually use, it will appear in first place. And for example, in second place, it will appear super speed, which is another one of the cycles that I usually use a lot. So this is something that I really liked, the use of artificial intelligence to make your life easier. Instead of you looking for the mode that you use, the washing machine learns from your usage pattern and automatically adjusts all the cycles. So that's something that I liked. And in fact, from the mobile application, notice that it also gives us here the suggestion of this mode indicating AI, so that you know that the artificial intelligence is suggesting this mode, which is the one you usually use, but obviously there are many more cycles in this part so that you can choose exactly the cycle that you need the most. And obviously in the application there are more cycles than those that appear in this part. But if you constantly use a cycle that did not appear on the screen but appeared in the application, it will be added in this part. But now let me put the clothes here to wash so that we can more or less do a cycle together. So it's a pretty small load of white clothes, but I want you to see more or less how this shirt is a little dirty. As you'll notice, so this shirt is the one that we're going to use as a reference to see the result after this wash cycle. So we're going to enter this last shirt and we're ready to go. As I told you, the washer automatically learned that I usually wash with a small load and I don't need to put soap in because it already has soap in it. You just have to make sure that in the application the dispenser is enabled, because I disable them when I usually wash some other special clothes with a different soap. So now that I have enabled the dispenser, we are going to put it to work. The dispenser, we are going to put this machine to work, and it says that it is going to take about 19 minutes. It is quite a short time, so at this moment it is already starting to work. And while it is working, I remember to tell you about this, which is also something interesting, which is the 20-year warranty that they offer you on the inverter motor. This is something remarkable because usually the warranty is for 10 years. So it's pretty cool that you have this level of warranty on the motor, which is obviously the most important thing about the washer. Now let me turn on the light just so we can see inside here. We're going to select that. We want to turn on the light even though it's a very bright day, so it's not so easy to see inside, but there it is. We're going to wait for it to be done. And that's it. In this case, it notifies me not only through the mobile application where you receive a notification as if it were any other application, and that is already very practical, but it also notifies me through voice assistants because smart things can connect with other assistants. So I love it. In my case, I was notified by Alexa. See how? Your washing machine is done? So that also makes your life easier in the sense that you don't have to constantly come and see if it's done or if it's not done yet. You can simply check it through your cell phone or wait for it to tell you when it's done. So let's check how the shirt is. And here it is. Let me stretch it a little bit and see how it's completely clean. So it did very well even though I put it on the fastest possible cycle. And if you are like me who usually wash small loads, also here comes something in which this washing machine helps a lot, because before I used to use more soap than I should, and then it takes longer to rinse, but in this case, as through artificial intelligence weighs the clothes and detects more or less how much soap to use, it will not happen that you use more soap than you should, and therefore the washing is faster and you spend less. And we can even say that you are more environmentally friendly. So I like the way it works with the automatic dispenser. Now I am going to pass this small load to the dryer, and automatically when the washer is done, it turns on the dryer, and it also suggests an automatic mode based on the mode I used at the bottom. So it is very practical. We are just going to empty all the clothes in the top and wait again. My clothes are already in the dryer, but personally I like to work in parallel. So while the dryer is working, the washer is also going to be working with colored clothes that I am going to put in separately. So let me empty all those clothes and we will put both machines to work to save more time for this colored clothes cycle. I am going to use OptiWash with AI so you can see more or less how it works because I already tested it, and I am going to use OptiWash with AI. Because I already tested it, and in this case it automatically detects the fabric and the dirt, and in case the clothes are still considered dirty, it will add one more rinse and a little more soap. So this mode is also interesting, so let's test it and I'll tell you how it works. Then I'll put the washer to work and we'll also put the dryer to work, so we'll come back in a moment when they are finished. And that's it, both the dryer and the washer are finished. The dryer finished first, but I preferred to wait until they were both finished to come and record this part in this cycle. OptiWash with IA detected that I had delicate clothes, and it told me that it was going to wash with a delicate cycle, and this time it did not add an additional rinse as it happened to me. On another occasion that I washed clothes where it told me the clothes are still dirty, so I am going to add an additional rinse. This is because the Laundry Hub measures the level of soiling of the clothes to add more detergent in case it is necessary. That came to me as a notification, but as I tell you, in this case I washed normal, decided not to add more rinsing. So it is also up to you as a user. If you want the artificial intelligence to do everything for you, you can put it in and that's it. Or also if you are one of those who prefer to set manual parameters, you can do it. Then I will take something out of the dryer to show you how it is completely dry, by the way. Now that I opened the door, I remembered that you can also change the position of the door. It is a curious and interesting fact that can be useful also for several people. If you prefer it to open from left to right, you can do it also. So let's go with the same shirt that we are using for the whole test. It is perfectly dry. There is nothing to reproach it then to finish with this washing day. I am going to put my colored clothes here, and the white clothes, I took them out and they are ready. But as you know, before putting the dryer to work again, you have to remove this filter to clean it in the dryer, and then you can put it in the dryer again. We have to remove this filter to clean it. In this case, all the lint is trapped here. So we are going to clean it and put it back in so it can do its second job. We are about to finish all this because the clothes are dry. So here I have one of the clothes and it is ready. Just fold it and put it away. But before putting all this away, let me tell you some other things that I had not told you that you can do through the mobile application with SmartThings. See how in addition to customizing the cycles and all this that we had already seen, also has a clothing care and home care function. In clothing care, you can find some recommended cycles for different styles of fabric and some other very specific garments. If you need something like that to take care of your clothes. Also in home care, you can find recommendations and guides for different styles of fabric and some other very specific garments if you need something like that to take care of your clothes. Also in home care, we are going to find recommendations and guides to give a good maintenance to our devices. In this case, for example, it tells us that everything is working fine, but here it can give us some guides to clean the filters, to see that the sensors are working well and other things. So if at some point it has any technical problem immediately, it will let you know, and in this way it will be much easier to maintain, and therefore we will also be able to monitor the consumption that we have. See how you can turn on the AI energy mode, which will be like a special saving mode so that our devices do not consume so much energy. Then you can turn it off or on completely to your liking. Because notice that in this case, based on your zip code, can give you an estimate of how much energy it is consuming in economic terms. Then in this case, you can also see graphs of the consumption that it is having, both in terms of energy consumption and in terms of energy consumption. Graphs of the consumption of both energy and water. So it can be an interesting and important aspect to observe, for example, how we can have our weekly graph of how much water and energy we have consumed. And as I say, it can help us to have a much clearer idea of what we are using and how we are managing the resources of the machine and the environment. So let's turn on the AI energy mode so you can see how it has a maximum savings, or also customized so you can set goals for yourself as well. And it can be interesting for several people. And in conjunction with clothing care, you can add custom cycles so that these cycles are downloaded from the cloud. And you can have something more specific. For example, in this case, I will select baby clothes. And you can get these cycles to adjust the temperature, the level of soiling, and other parameters of both the washer and the dryer. You can also add some special notes and you can send it to the device. This is where I tell you, I would like to also tell us which dispenser you wanted to take soap from. That would be perfect. So for the moment, this has been all regarding this BeSpoke AI Laundry Hub. Let me know in the comments all your feedback. I hope you liked this video. If you did, you know you can tell me, and we will see you next time.